Hi, it's Paul here from selfoutforlife.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the 4 main personality types. So human behavior can be quite predictable, and psychologists realized this and came up with 4 different personality types. So that's type A, type B, type C and type D. Now, no one person is completely one type, but having an understanding of the different types of people can help you understand how they tick in certain situations. And that's useful because then you can communicate and understand them better. And you'll probably find that you're also going to identify yourself with one of these personality types. And that's good. And if you identify with any of the negative aspects of this personality type, then you can start to make changes to change that in some way. Okay? So remember that no behavior is set in stone. You can always change your behavior. It's just that we tend to naturally or unconsciously adopt certain behavior traits, and this is what psychologists have picked up on with these 4 personality traits. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first one is type A, and this is the achiever, go-getter type of personality. And what I'm going to do with each of these personality types is I'm going to cover the positive aspects and I'm going to cover the slightly less useful or negative aspects. Okay, so the positive aspects of a type A person is that they're competitive, they're ambitious, they're usually very well organized, they're also very aware of time, okay, and using time efficiently. They tend to be proactive, they love to set goals, sometimes they set too many goals. They love to push the boundaries and get outside their comfort zone. They're often high achievers, they can be workaholics, and they push themselves with deadlines. And they also can be eager to help others. Okay, so they're almost your typical kind of self-help, positive thinking kind of person. However, type A's do have some negative aspects as well. So one is they tend to be more stressed. They tend to have less job or life satisfaction. They often tend to change jobs more often as a result. They believe the grass is greener on the other side. They can be quite status conscious. They can often have higher levels of anxiety. They can be impatient. They can be aggressive, not always, and that could be positive sometimes. Some having that aggression to achieve things can be quite positive, but they could be quite hasty, impulsive, hyper alert. They can get angry or frustrated easily, and they can become workaholics, which is not necessarily a good thing. Type A people hate delays and they hate any idea of wasting time. They see time is very valuable to them. So that's a type A person. Type B is almost the complete opposite of type A. Okay, so their positive aspects are they have lower levels of stress or perceived stress. They tend to work more steadily, so they're more consistent. They enjoy achievement. They have a calming influence on other people. They're generally more peaceful. They're more grounded. And it can take a lot to make them angry or frustrated. They tend to be less competitive. They're more about enjoying the game or the experience rather than focusing on winning or losing. They tend to be more tolerant with other people. They can make very good therapists, writers, actors or actresses. Because they have that patience and people skills. And also they're very good in social situations. They tend to have a lot of social life as well, great with people. They're great at relaxation, enjoyment, fun comes easily to them. They can be very sensitive as well, and they pick up on other people's emotions. And they're generally quite emotionally stable. Okay, so they're the positive aspects of a type B person. The negative aspects are that they may not achieve their full potential because they're very relaxed and laid back, so they're not so ambitious. They might leave things to the last minute, so they'll procrastinate. Okay, they need that pressure of a tight deadline to spur them into action. They may not be so good at following a time schedule because they tend to be less aware of the concept of time, so they might be late for meetings and things like that. And they can sometimes struggle to make decisions as well. Okay, so that's the type B person. So the next one is type C. Now type C people have a lot of similar traits to type A, but there's a few key differences. So type C people tend to be perfectionists. That's a key difference. They tend to take more time with details. They'll recheck work several times for accuracy. They're less aware of time. Okay, so it's more important that they do the job really, really well. So they may take longer than it needs to do that job. Okay. Also, they're pretty consistent workers, and they never break the rules, or they rarely break the rules. Okay, so a type A person might bend or break rules to achieve something. A type C person won't generally do that. Okay. Also, they tend to go deep on one subject rather than surface level on a lot of different things. They can be quite introverted people. They enjoy meaningful interaction with one or two people. They don't like small talk or talking surface level with a large group of people. They tend to be deep thinkers, and they also like routines. Disruption to any kind of routine can be quite stressful or frustrating for them. Okay. They also like a sense of stability and security, and they make decisions based on logic rather than emotions. Okay, so quite a few different traits to type A, but you can see some similarities as well. Okay, now in terms of negative aspects, they obviously get bogged down in detail because of that perfectionism. They might miss deadlines or take too long on things due to the need to get it perfect. They can get overwhelmed if there's too much going on. If there's just too much happening around, they can feel overwhelmed. They need time alone to process things, especially if they are feeling overwhelmed. And they also need time to make decisions. They'll often want to get a lot of facts, a lot of details before making a decision. And they tend to avoid conflicts with others. They don't like upsetting the status quo. Okay? And as I mentioned, they don't like interruptions, anything that breaks their routine. They like to have their own space. Okay, so that's type C. So finally, let's cover type D. So type D people tend to have a tendency towards negativity. The D actually stands for distressed. However, they have a lot of positive aspects as well. They tend to be warm people. They're very peaceful on the outside, and they're very sensitive to other people's emotions. They have a very realistic view about life, and they like security, and they're quite resilient as well. And they love to help, they love to give advice, and they're the kind of people who never give up as well. And they can be a source of wisdom to other people. Okay, so there's quite a lot of nice positive aspects there. The negative aspects are that they can feel isolated and lonely, and they can be quite negative at times as well. They're likely to experience more negative emotions, but often they won't share those emotions with others, often because they're afraid of rejection. So they often tend to suppress them or keep those emotions inside. They're also the kind of people who tend to worry a lot, tend to be quite irritable, and as I say, have sometimes a gloomy aspect to life as well, because they're generally more pessimistic about life. Okay, so that's a type D person. So as I mentioned at the start of this video, we're not completely any one of these types, and we might find we're more of one type in one situation and maybe more of another type in another situation. But if you identify yourself with one of these types, and if there's positive aspects you identify with, that's great, just keep doing those. But if you identify with any of those negative aspects, the less useful aspects, then now you've got that awareness. Now you've got the awareness of it, and you can start to make some changes. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning, no behavior is set in stone. You can always make changes. But I thought this would just be a useful video, slightly more light-hearted video really, just to give you a bit of sense of the different personality types, so you can get a bit of a feel of where you fit into those and have that awareness to change if you want to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and do leave a comment. Leave a comment and let me know which personality trait you felt resonated best with you. Just to let you know, I'm probably more of a type C. I thought I was a type A, but actually as I went through this, I think I'm more of a type C. So perfectionism and following rules is quite important to me. Okay, but I will work on being some of the other things as well. So yeah, leave a comment, let me know what type you are. I'd love to know that. And do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and click the bell notification. That way you will always be notified whenever I release future videos, which are every week at the moment. And do check out my website, that's selfhelpforlife.com. On my website, you will find the written versions to most of these YouTube videos and also a link to my podcast and social media channels as well. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.